Last night, we told you about flooding insurance and how it can protect somebody's home and car, but it also raises the question of flood zones and how they might affect you buying insurance. News West 9's Jason Freund went around asking that very question. And Jason, what have you learned about flood zones here?
Okay, Alex, a flood zone really depends on what part of town you live and what kind of home you own. But yes, flood zones do have a bit of an impact on how you can buy flood insurance. So, the big question, what even is a flood zone?
A flood zone is a geographic area that FEMA has determined or defined as an area that's prone to flooding. So there are different types of flood zones from moderate to low risk.
You can find out if you live in a flood zone just by checking the FEMA flood map and searching up your address. And depending on how high risk the area you live in, the more likely it is you're in an area that's going to flood. It also depends on the kind of house you live in and how it was built.
Like a mobile home, we call them manufactured homes. It sounds better. A lot of times the policy will have flood coverage on a manufactured home. The homeowner's policy a lot of times, or most of the time, will have flood coverage on a manufactured home, different than a homeowner's policy that has a foundation that's solid.
Now, there are private carriers who offer a little more flexibility with some different costs as well. But some carriers may charge higher premiums and will pay more depending on if you live in a high-risk zone.
It used to be that we required an elevation certificate if someone was interested in purchasing a flood policy. Well, that's changed. Now, anyone without an elevation certificate can purchase a flood insurance policy.
There are also some factors when it comes to which homes in the flood zones can actually get flood insurance.
Some of the questions that we have to go in the system and enter is basically, does it have vents? Basically, if the water level is rising outside of the home, is the property vented? How high is it from the base level? Also, is there machinery that is on the floor itself? There are several different factors that will contribute to the for the flood insurance premium.
But if you're feeling nervous about those rising water levels affecting your house, whether you live in a flood zone or not, you can always reach out to the National Flood Insurance Program or other private carriers just to be on the safe side.
You can actually buy flood insurance and not even be in a flood zone. If you're a person that's anxious and has anxiety problems about it's raining, and I've seen the water rise before, and even though I'm in an area that's never flooded, I might want to buy flood insurance.
And the NFIP also gives people a friendly guide to help people get an elevation certificate. That certificate allows you to officially measure your house's elevation relative to estimated flood water levels.